And I'm just getting things set up here. Really cool stuff. So let me see if I see Nas. I do hear an echo. I don't see your video just yet. Hey, how's it going? And actually, let me
Wait, I want to go
transition
live
here.
on Instagram too. Can I do that? I'm
Um, I think you can go live on your end,
okay, cool. So I can get people from my end too. Cool.
and but I know if you join, we tried this before, where if you join my Instagram live, then
Uh-huh.
we hear an echo. So
Well,
that's
you can bring the voice down, no? Maybe not.
we could try that. Yeah, definitely. Let's give it a try.
Try it. Let's try. Request.
So for those of you connecting live right now, let me know how the audio is going, because this is behind the scenes as we get things prepared for the podcast. And so we're just getting things set up, but this is like a behind the scenes view. So there's multiple platforms right now. We got Instagram going. Naz is connecting on her Instagram, but we also got YouTube, Periscope, 3 different Facebook groups, and LinkedIn. So we are streaming hardcore. And actually, let me just type here, ask some questions. I'm going to type that on the message here. Ask some questions. People said, sounds good. Uh, People said, thanks for the call. And someone says, oh, I look like her. So there's a new dropshipping insiders that she
That
reminded me of you, Naz. And she's been doing dropshipping. I said, well, you got to catch our live stream here. So I say, make the connection for sure. Her name is Michaela, and really good stuff. So hello from Morocco. There's a bunch of people. So I'd say, as we're getting connected, drop your questions that you have throughout this session. And I'd say as we get towards the end of the podcast, we'll give a chance to answer some live questions here. So these are some of the benefits of connecting live. So like I said, we're connected on YouTube and Facebook and other platforms. Um, Let us know also about the audio quality, if it's any good. If you're getting any feedback, let us know. But yeah, behind the scenes view, we got Instagram cooking here, and but on Instagram, this is the whole point. If you want to see the screen, actually showing on ours, but if you want to see the whole screen, because on YouTube and Facebook you can actually see the screen that I have showing. There's stuff on the right hand side, and I'll bring up some stuff that we're going to talk about as well. Let me see. All right, we're approaching 1 o'clock, and awesome stuff. Let me just say again here. Let me know. Is audio good? Drop your questions along the way.
wait, is there a link so I can go live and then I can because you said if it would be echo, I can drop it down on my Instagram so people can.
Yeah, there's a. Let me see if there is a link. I know through. Let's see. You mean
Like, how can people watch this now live? Or would people? Oh, they're only seeing it on your Instagram right now, right? Never
uh
mind.
yeah, so I have another phone that's streaming
That
Instagram,
makes
but
sense.
we also
You're the
have
pro. I'm the person that I don't even know how to use.
Facebook Live as well. So let me see.
No
Is
worries.
anybody there that could share the Facebook Live link? Do you guys have that?
No
I'm
worries
asking the
at
audience,
all.
share me the link. uh,
I don't have my
would
phone here.
Facebook be better or YouTube?
I think either if they go to your channel, they can find it, right?
Yeah. So it's
Okay. What's
definitely
your name on your channel? It's that's Tech Money Talks.
Tech Money Talks. Yeah.
Tech
I'm
money.
kind of afraid to pull it up, and because then
Don't
it
worry,
might
don't do it. I'm
interrupt
just
with
putting
the
it in
stream.
because I just went live. I want people to go on your YouTube and watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, cool.
Search Tech
Yeah,
Money
it's
Talk.
youtube.com/Tech Money Talks, and it should show a live that's going on right now with your name in the title.
Damn. Okay. Put it out there. Pin comment. Okay.
I see some people joined.
Yeah, there are people. I have 16, 17 people.
Joe,
now.
how's it going? Drop some questions.
What is up, people? Hope everybody's doing great. We're just live with Tech Money Talks. If you guys want to watch this live, go on YouTube and just search Tech Money Talks. Or I guess if they do that and then type Nazerati would come up, right? It is live, and
Yep.
it will be live anyways to watch later. But if you want to watch it live and drop questions, you can do that too. I'm watching YouTube both. See, narrow that. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
So whenever I want to answer, if you guys have questions, go to the box where the question mark is, and then drop your questions there, so we can later on we can just go through them, so I don't have to scroll up and down. All right, we have like 26 people on mine now. I just went live, so it's gotta be more. All right.
Yeah, youtube.com/Tech Money Talks, and it should show a live stream there. All right,
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are getting behind the scenes view. We typically use Zoom to do the podcast recording, and for a couple of reasons. One is, it's definitely a reliable tool for streaming, but two, if you guys didn't know, on the recording, it creates separate audio channels. So if her audio is too loud or mine's too loud or vice versa, it creates separate channels so we can balance it out when it gets shared in the audio podcast, which is really cool. And Zoom's not recording just yet, so I typically give a lot of the guests, a chance. Like I said, this is behind the scenes, and then when we start the recording, we get into podcast mode. But I think another great thing about doing this live is that as you guys are watching along the way, you can drop your questions. And the real reason for doing this is things are moving fast. I mean, we're going to talk all about it in the thing, but things are moving fast. And, the typical podcast release is queued up, and it, typically in the past would release about 3 to 4 weeks out. But nowadays, 3 to 4 weeks ago, a lot's changed, right? So everything's changing. So that's the real purpose of doing the live, so you guys can get access to current information while it's live. Ask your questions, plug in, and then the audio podcast will go out, but it goes through editing and things like that. And this is where you get a behind the scenes view and get a chance to connect with us online and live, which is really cool stuff. So really cool. So I'm going to start the recording, and then I'm going to get in the zone here, and we'll kick things off. Okay, so what I do is I usually start the recording. The recording is now started. And those intros that you guys hear in the podcast is live. And I got to pump myself up to get in the zone here. And we'll get things going. Hey everybody, Brian McCumber here with Tech Money Talks. I am really excited today because we have a very special guest on the podcast. We are fortunate to have Nazerati returning as a featured guest on the show. And if you don't know who she is, then you're missing out big time, because during this whole stay-at-home lockdown, she did over $200,000 drop shipping and is currently doing up to $25,000 days. Naz continues to raise the bar, has been keeping it real. I'm telling you, she's been keeping it real the whole time. If you're interested in starting an online business to make extra money, you better save this episode in your back pocket and listen to it over and over again, because the stories and the tips you're going to learn here will give you the opportunity to quickly launch your own business to help your wallet grow fat. Naz has been absolutely killing it in e-commerce, and Naz has an awesome presence on YouTube and Instagram, helping out a lot of people figure out this dropshipping thing. Last year, Naz was a featured speaker at our Dropship Chicago event, And if it wasn't for this whole world historic event that we're going through, we were supposed to have our own skydive ecom mastermind in LA back in March. And we're going to talk about that as well. So, time is money, and everyone's looking to get a piece of her time. And I'm so happy to have her on the show today. Naz, thanks for joining us. How's it going?
I'm doing great. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me again on your podcast.
Oh, really great, man. It's really glad to have you. And you know what? I want to give uh for the audience, or actually this is for the podcast. I want to put like a timestamp because I've noticed that, just to give perspective, this is April 27th,
Yeah,
and we're still in the middle of this, historic event that's going on. We got the global pandemic, stay-at-home orders, and recently reported over 26 million lost jobs in the United States. So a lot of things. So just to give perspective, as this is the time frame where we're discussing this podcast. But I'd say, for the audience, maybe you could do a quick introduction about yourself, and then we'll just take it from there.
awesome. Well, my name is Naz. If you guys don't know, I've been dropshipping for about 3 years, 3.5 years, but seriously, like taking it serious and making money about 3 years. Recently, honestly, I'm just here to at some point after a while you just want to help people, so I'm here now to help people do the same thing, start making money online, especially during this time. I hate to be one of those people be like, hey, this is, you're going to start drop shipping and make money tomorrow and start making money. But I think it's one of the best things. If you put work and effort into it, it's one of the best things you could actually do, especially during these times. Like this is like eye-opening because all businesses are down, and it makes you realize how you can go and make money online from your laptop and nothing else has changed. Even like the conversion is higher. I mean, that if something has changed, it's conversion, which is higher now, but nothing else has changed when it comes to online businesses. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I'm glad that you touched on that for sure. And it's just an amazing thing that's happening. And Tony Robbins, said it well, whereas like, people would take action either through inspiration or desperation. And I feel
Yeah,
like, people that have taken action in the realm of developing their own side hustles
yeah,
and in the past, year and multiple years is like really through inspiration, taking advantage of the opportunities that exist related to drop shipping and e-commerce. And then now, what we're dealing with today, I think there's a lot of people that are now responding to desperation. They need
yeah,
that hustle, which is important.
absolutely.
And I think with the platforms that we have, and it's been the point of the podcast to help steer people to people that have been having real success and keeping it
Yeah,
real. And Naz has been, educating people and helping people throughout this time while just totally crushing it in their own business. And it's just been really great. And I'm glad that you're taking the time out here today. But I would say, there's one question that I wanted to ask, and I think it's important for a lot of people.
right.
So in this thing is like, okay, imagine you had a couple $1,000s to your name.
Yeah.
And in these current times, if you had to start all over again, knowing what you know now, what would you do over the next 30 days to start a business that would actually make you money, and why?
Okay. So number one, I would find someone to learn from. I mean, that's really crucial. I know a lot of information is online and you can find them, but it's so spread out and confusing that it's harder to actually find multiple people to learn from. So I would choose one person that I trust, that I know they're real, and learn from. And number two is just, I mean, save money for ads, Facebook ads, since we were talking about drop shipping, and then listen to what advice they give you and start testing. Not only in
Mhm.
dropshipping, but any business, you have to test a lot of aspects, right? A lot of angles, a lot of things, and just start testing, testing, testing. And with the right guidance, I mean, I don't see why you shouldn't be profitable in the next, 30 or 60 days.
Really, really good. Yeah, for sure. And I think if that even brings up one of the things that I think was really awesome. It has to do with your YouTube video that you shown here. And actually, let me even show for those that are watching live on YouTube and Facebook, you can see Naz's YouTube channel. And she did one recent about a couple of weeks ago, which was, 200K during a pandemic, which is really awesome. So I was wondering if you could help share that with the audience.
Of course. Actually, I was gonna. I didn't want to ruin the introduction, but now we're about 600,000 because that video was posted 3 weeks ago. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. So right now, we're actually because I was scaling 3 stores at the time, and then that when I posted that video, I just hit 200,000, and I think like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. And then right after on that specific store, we hit 300, I think 20 or 30,000, and I died off. But at the same time, I was scaling another store that one is right now also around 300,000. So we're having well, I was doing 25,000 in one store and about 20,000 in another store, and like about like 3 4,000 in the third store. So it was like three spread out stores that I was scaling. So not to make everyone confused, but we're doing about probably over 40,000 a day, well, multiple stores. And one of the reasons probably people are gonna be like, why is it different stores? I got my ad account. I can't spend more than 5,000. I've been talking to them, and they're not letting me spend more than 5,000 a day. So I have to spread out my stores now.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful and really great stuff. So it goes to show folks that, things are happening now. People are wondering, and I think that's even one of the questions that came in is drop shipping still working? For some reason, people always seem to ask that question, is drop shipping dead? But this
No.
person asks, is drop shipping dying?
Yeah.
And how would you respond to that?
Definitely not. And if anything, I would say right now is almost as easy as 2016 because I feel like that when I started, it was way easier till right before the pandemic. The reason is if you search online, a lot of people now switching from obviously they can't go buy stuff, so they're buying things online. And apparently there was like a 50% increase in online shopping in the last 5 weeks or so, and so that says something. That says a lot about how much people are buying now online, and a lot of people are bored. Like they're bored on their laptop and just buying stuff. My average conversion before this pandemic was about three. Like on good days, it would be 3%. Now I'm like up to 7 8%. That means 7 8% of people that come to my store they buy from my store, which is an insane conversion. Like I went from 25 to 30% profit to 40 to 45% profit of what I'm selling. So
Wow.
definitely, if anything, right now is the best time to get started. A lot of advertisers are also scared to sell, so a lot of people step back. So it's a lot of more space for people to know if you know how to do it right, And a lot of people also are scared to get started. So again, less competition, more people buying. So that's definitely like says something.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and you said it very well, which is like, I mean, a lot of people say related to like, it feels like Black Friday or back in Q4, people are shopping for Christmas time, and
Yeah,
I would describe it as like, already we saw last year, buying habits were shifting,
yeah,
and I always bring up like, okay, before Christmas, I remember seeing. The Toys R Us store was closed down,
yeah,
which meant that buying habits were already shifting. People were more buying online than they were going physically to the store.
yeah,
Now you
yeah,
fast forward to today, one, we have the stay at home orders and only essential stores are open. But
yeah.
then two, people don't actually want to go out there physically to the stores anymore. So everybody is buying online,
Absolutely.
which would you relate that like that's probably one of the reasons why it's scaling up like the number of sales?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. People can't go to the stores. Like, it's one of those things also that people get dopamine rush from, right? Buying stuff. So they can't go to the store to get that dopamine rush. They have to do it online. I myself, I'm just like even stress shopping or like bored shopping. Like, if I'm doing it and I know what I'm doing, like, imagine the people that like they're not exactly online marketers. Like, they definitely are like buying stuff online. So yeah.
Wow. That's awesome stuff. Let's see, let's field questions. You're getting a bunch of questions coming in for sure.
I'm getting
And okay, so we talked about the dime. For some reason, a couple people asking about dime, but you answered that very well. What is your advice for a dropshipping beginner? To start with what niche or general store? What kind of product to start with?
Okay. So this is like I feel like one of the most asked questions is should I start a general store, niche store, one product store? I'm not saying that one is necessarily better than the other, but I think it depends what stage of your journey you are. Like if you're just getting started, it's really hard to find one product that you know it's gonna work. It's different if you're a little bit more advanced, then you know how to make one product work. You could start one product store, but if you're just getting started, I feel like general store is the way to go just because you don't know what saturated product is. It takes months or weeks or depends how fast you're learning. You don't know what saturated products are or like how it works. You would start with a general store and like you can test whatever on the general store. The only difference that is going to have between general and like niche or one product store is you're going to have slightly lower conversion if you have a winning product. So I would say definitely start with general store, and after like getting a couple winning products, you can move on to niche store or one product store and get into branding, whatever your heart desires. But in the beginning, I would say definitely start with a general store.
Really good, really good. And we have another question that came in. Do you guys recommend a Miles credit card to start with drop shipping?
Miles credit card. I mean, there are so many good credit cards out there. Depends what you want it for. Like if you travel a lot, obviously get a credit card that gives you, travel point. If you want cashback, you can do cashbacks. There's like a lot of like American Express, Chess Sapphire. Those are like pretty great cards to start with if you have good credit. It depends on what you want it for. If you're looking to travel, if you're looking to, but it's great because you're going to be spending so much money on ads and your products. So if you put it on credit card, you'll have like, I know people having like 3 years, 4 years of free travel because they've been putting all like their expenses, all the product and ads expenses on their credit card. So depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good. And yeah, I mean, I would say I would second that, which is just kind of like it's up to you guys, but definitely use, some type of rewards thing, take advantage of the transactions that are going through, right? And probably the first source that comes to mind is like I think it's called Nerd Wallet. So if you go to Nerd Wallet, it'll tell you all the different things and the reasons why. So like Nas explained, if you want more travel, there'll probably be a better card for that. If you want more reward points so that it can actually be money so you can actually buy things on like Amazon, there's
Yeah.
probably better cards for that. So I'd say
Yeah.
check that out. But yeah, that was a good question. There's another one that says, uh, how do you avoid getting banned on Facebook ads? I see more people are getting their ads and accounts banned for no reason. I'd like to prevent that.
There's actually never no reason. Now digging in, actually, I just made like a 20-30 minutes YouTube video yesterday, which is gonna be posted next week. But I'm gonna briefly go through it. But if you want to watch the whole video, follow me, and then I'll be posting it next week. The thing is, like a lot of people, Facebook, you gotta figure out how Facebooks work. Like go, like actually read their policies first of all. I haven't been getting disabled in a while, and I was getting disabled a lot, and I was wondering why the hell is this happening. Then I
Yeah.
kind of had a, like reality check with myself. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is it that I'm breaking? Like, there's a rule that I'm breaking, and they're very smart. Facebook goes and scan your ads. If you, even when you're getting started, first of all, when going way, way back, if you're um, if you have suspicious activity, like that's one reason that you could get banned. This is before getting even to your ads. Like if your billing address doesn't match um, your what is it called? Your card that is connected to your ad, and all these things actually affect you later. So when you start running ads, it's gonna deactivate you because of suspicious activity, which is
Mm.
crazy. A lot of people don't know these things, but this is like getting too detailed. Another thing is Facebook scans your ads. If your ad is giving people bad experience, they don't like it. A lot of, and they have like a list of things, like probably 100 things that is considered a bad experience for the audience, which you got to go look at it. Even like focusing on body part, like if you're showing too much hands in your ads, Facebook doesn't like that. like they actually go and might even disable you because you're showing a little bit of too much of nails in your ads, or like if you talk too much about money, like they don't like it. Like a lot of things that I don't like, and if they feel like you're giving your audience bad experience, they go and disable you. And there's so many reasons, but I'll follow me and I'll post the full video on why Facebook disables you next week.
Yeah, that's really good. And I would say, even to add to that, because Naz is really good. I say definitely follow her. If you guys are watching, you can see her YouTube channel up there. She does a lot, and it's very nice of you. I mean, you're very transparent about sharing, some of the things that you're experiencing. Because I tell you, she tests more than most people out
I
there.
every aspects. Whoever that knows me, they know I'm kind of a not OCD, but I like to test everything myself just to make sure if it works or if it doesn't.
Uh-huh. That's great. And then, sharing the experiences there, which is awesome. And that happens to a lot of people. And there's probably reasons that Facebook has, and you just got to follow through and try to do your best to follow the guidelines as much as you can is
Yeah,
really the best practice there.
absolutely.
One person asked, how do you manage scaling all those stores at once?
Well, by outsourcing, you would want to have multiple VAs for your emails. First thing that I would hire is your emails because you're going to get a lot of emails if you're scaling to that level. So once, and I think that's like 50% of your headaches are the emails, to be honest. And then you would want to have obviously good customer service because if you want to scale higher and want to not get disabled, you want to have good customer service. Um,
Yeah.
I would just say outsourcing everything and just focus on one aspect of your business. And a lot, like I've been telling people, like you gotta work, like you're 5% of your business. You gotta outsource 95%, or you're gonna go crazy. Like you're literally gonna go crazy if you want to do everything yourself. You gotta outsource 95% of your business and work 5% on your business.
Yeah. What's that core that you focus on?
Facebook ads.
Facebook ads?
Just
Okay.
because I enjoy it so much, and like it's something that is hard to trust other people to run for you,
Uh-huh.
you know? Yeah.
What about product research? You got a
I
process?
I actually do my own product research too. I
Yeah.
those 2 things. But
Those two
product
things,
research
yeah.
is not very time like once I have 2, 3 products I'm scaling, I'm not gonna be doing product research till they die. Like I probably should be, but I have 2, 3 products. Like
Yeah.
it's like so much work that I'm not gonna be like it's not something that I'm gonna do every day. I'll do it maybe like once I find my 2, 3 winning products. I don't do product research till like I have one left, and then I start product research again so I can find another and another. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, that's really good. Yeah. So it keeps you focused to really make the most out of the stores that you do have. Um,
Absolutely.
that's
I
awesome.
mean, scaling 3 products, even though I outsource everything, I still like wake up. I'm like, oh, what is my supplier doing? Is everything out? Still a lot of products are selling that you still like right now. I have about 150,000 on hold on PayPal. So that means if anything goes wrong, I could not get that money. You know what I'm saying? Which hold that hold is like for 3, 4 months. So I have to make sure that everything is in place.
Yeah, yeah. No, man, that's really good. Thanks for sharing that for sure. So like I mean for the audience, you can kind of see the importance of things and how to be able to scale. She's talking about those different aspects of it. So I'd say this is kind of like part of the thing where you want to re-listen to it over again because you'll catch those nuggets that are in there for sure. And yeah, you got questions flowing in, so we'll keep answering them. I think these are good. Uh let's see here. How many orders on AliExpress is classed as saturated? So I think they're trying to understand, what makes a product saturated.
I would say over 500. None of the products that I scaled had over 500 orders. I know people that scale products that are like more orders, but they don't last as long because a lot of people are probably scaling that product. Does that make sense? So, because my winning
Yeah.
products usually last about 3, 4, maybe 5 months, which is like long for a drop shipping product. Um, but if If they have like more orders, like 1,000, 2,000, if you have a really, really good creative, you can bring it back, but it just dies off after a month or so. It dies off faster.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
really good. And we got another question said, what other services other than PayPal can you recommend? People getting accounts frozen, they're saying.
I think he means like what processors. That's what I'm guessing. So
Yeah.
I've been using Shopify payments and Stripe and all that, and I've never had issues with anyone. Um, and one reason, again, another reason that a lot of people like these things don't happen for no reasons, right? Like I 100% believe that your
Yeah.
account just don't get frozen for no reason, right? Even with PayPal, when I say my money is on hold, it's 20% of my sales that goes on hold. I've never had like 100% on hold. You know what I'm saying? It's like 20% is only for 3 months. It's not as bad as everything else just because they know I'm drop shipping and they still willing to work with me with that, which is I'm actually thankful. It's only 20%. One thing is you got to fulfill your orders right away. This is like super important when you're using a processor. Processors scan you every day to make sure that you're fulfilling your orders. And if you're fulfilling from AliExpress and it's taking you a week to actually get tracking number, they don't like that. They're gonna go and you're high risk if you're taking a week to have tracking numbers. So what I recommend, this is what I do, at least during this time. This is probably my made up solution for this, and I don't know anybody else who does that. So when you're testing during this time, do not use AliExpress to fulfill orders. I go on eBay. I know this is kind of crazy, but I find warehouses in the US and but I know I have to pay a little bit more when I'm just testing, right? I'm probably not going to be profiting from the product that people ordered. I order from eBay and then get it delivered for now till I have consistent orders that I could work with my actual supplier. So you have to have 10 to 20 orders a day consistently to be able to work with a supplier in China. My supplier every single night goes on my store and upload all the trackings. So I buy now that I know I'm scaling, I buy everything in bulk. So I pay like 10,000 in advance. I know the whole point of dropshipping is not to buy everything in advance, but I want to, since I know I'm scaling, I do it just because I want it to move fast and I don't want to have problems with processors. And I highly recommend if you're scaling, like do that, like pay in advance and get the products to their warehouse so you have it there and then they ship it out every day. So my products during this time it's been getting to my customers around 10 to 20, 12 days, which is kind of insane knowing that Amazon is taking a week to deliver. So let's compare, like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
That's
highly recommend that you fulfill your orders like right away if you want to have no issues with the processors. You also want to update the tracking to your PayPal. So a lot of people don't know this. You can also upload it into PayPal, and then PayPal just takes it easy with you. You know, that was a lot
That's
of information.
really good. Man, that's a really good tip, and hopefully the audience caught on to that. And for so many reasons, which is like you know, going from testing to scaling mode, and she just described, you know, when you're making that investment, because you pretty much want to use, and this is where, you know, business is doing is like you want to use drop shipping as kind of like a proof and concept, you know, prove it out with
Yeah,
drop shipping because it's low risk, low investment. And then when you find that product that's worth making the investment, like Naz described, you know, she can make the investment and have orders or products ready to ship faster, potentially even better pricing, and she's getting faster shipping and so on. And that allows her to scale and to know that okay, she has the inventory to fill that and so on, which is that's awesome. So yeah, thanks for describing that because I think most people miss that, and there's also I'm noticing a good number of people that are now entering in or now thinking to get into to selling, and for surprisingly there's still a good number of people that are already looking to buy inventory as the first step before they
yeah,
even know the product's going to sell. So
yeah,
you know the whole point of drop shipping is that you can avoid, you know, having like a garage full of products and, you know, not end up with
absolutely,
inventory, not, you know, stuck with everything in your
absolutely.
right.
I
So
agree.
it's just an amazing thing for sure. But yeah, thanks for explaining that.
Of course.
One person asked, "What's the best way to test products quickly?"
Best way. I mean, I think the most time consuming part of testing product is the video that you make. So I would recommend outsourcing your um, videos, like get someone to make the videos for you. And I recently been working with a company, which is like, they've been really good. If you guys want more info, just DM me on Instagram. But one thing is like, just get someone to make the videos for you, do the product research yourself, and then find someone reliable to make the videos for you. And then just, that's the quickest way that you could actually test a bunch of products, because the other things are not that time consuming. If you're not a video editor, it's going to take you a whole day to actually edit one video, maybe longer, maybe 2 days. And then we're talking about 30 to 45-second videos, and then that's going to be super time consuming. You're going to be taking like, if even if you work every single day, you're going to take like 2 months to test like 10 products, you know. So I would say definitely outsource your video editing, and get good videos made. I see a lot of people using bad videos and wonder why their dropshipping business is not working. And then creative is just as important as your product. I used to say product is the most important thing because I didn't think people would use bad videos for their products. But now I have to emphasize that product and videos and your creative is just as important.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's actually, yeah, really important. It's, because instead of just leaning on, the product to sell itself, make a little effort,
Yeah.
to put your, sales and marketing cap on, to really, try to attract people and to encourage them to buy, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Let's see the next question. And that previous question, I'll try to do some name shout outs. That was from Daniel Tavares. So shout out to Daniel. Another one we got here is: do you recommend an ad set for each interest? He
I
said
think
for
you mean
he
like,
said for example, a product has at least 15 interests, or should I do 15 ad sets? So if he wants to target
uh,
15 interests, or should
I'll,
he?
don't
Yeah.
worry about interest. Like it's not a big. Honestly, I've been testing with no interest recently, and it's been working great. People call me crazy. They're like, "There's no way." And I made a video on it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're because you had a lot of sales." Actually, the account that I used to try test product was I had like 2, 3 sales on it, the ad account, and I was testing it on like no interest. Facebook is so smart now that they know what you're selling and they go and find the right audience. You literally could put no interest and Facebook finds the right audience for you. But if you really want to do interest, it's not gonna make like it's not gonna make the video like your product a winning product because you're using interest or not using interest. You know what I'm saying? So what do you want to do? If you're doing that, I just do single targeting. I do one interest and I keep it really big, like 10 million population. And or just do no interest. Just let Facebook do its thing, you know. Facebook knows what they're doing, and you don't have to worry so much about interest anymore.
No, that's really good. Yeah, I did catch that in I think it was actually that video that you shared with the 200K during the pandemic, and I caught that and I was just like, wow,
Yes,
that's pretty cool. So even
yeah,
that option where that checkbox, I forgot how it's worded, where like expand or
yeah.
allow,
Honestly,
you
it
leave
doesn't
that
even
checked.
matter if you expand it or not anymore. Like we're at that point that Facebook knows what they're doing. So I tested it both, expand and not expanded. And either way, if your product and your video is good enough, like you're gonna be getting sales. Now the question is, how can you maximize your profit? It's not about just making it profitable, is how you can maximize your profit at that point.
Yeah,
So you can
yeah.
expand it or not expand it. Like it doesn't really matter.
That's awesome. This is great stuff for sure. And let's see, we got some more questions. We'll keep going down here because I think these good questions are leading to really good conversations. And
Hey.
hopefully, you guys are getting really good value here as well. Because I know I am just by hearing this stuff for sure. So let's see. Since you find your products yourself, do you have VAs list them for you?
The VAs list them on my product page. Yeah, I do. I have someone writing my product page and stuff. Like I said, you want to outsource most of your um, jobs in your business and then focus on one aspect or two aspects of your business.
That's awesome. And it said another question that came in: when we kill the ad set, when do we know the ad set is a failure?
If it's breaking even and you're not getting any sales on that ad set, that's when you kind of know it's failing, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's the whole point, folks, is that just to have a methodology in place, so that you're not going to lose your shirt in Facebook ads. I would say there's no right or wrong. It's really about just having a measure in place, something that you're willing to risk to test to find out, is it does it have potential or not? Would you
Yeah.
say? Yeah.
I would say, I mean, yeah, you got to test everything. But like I said, like this is how I usually tell people that are obsessing over Facebook and what method to use. I tell
Hmm.
them, hey, it's 40%. So how I call this like a success formula in dropshipping is 40% is your product, 40% is your creative, 20% is your method, Facebook ad method. So don't focus so much on the 20%. Focus on making a really, really good creative for a really, really good product. And whatever you do here, so if you have a really good product, you have a really good creative, you have a really bad method of testing, that thing's still going to be profitable. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like even if you don't know what you're doing on Facebook, but you have a really good creative, you're going to be profitable. But let's say if your Facebook ad method testing is on point and you have a really bad video and a bad product, there's no way you can actually make that work. Just to make it easier for you guys, this is kind of how I would say I would go about testing and like not focusing on what's important the most.
Really good. That's really good. Very well explained too. And one of the things I was just remembering here while we still have time to talk about it, which was, I'm going to show this on the screen here. This was the page we had for the skydive event in LA, and it's showing on the screen right now. Really, man, I was really looking forward to this event. We had
It's
this
still gonna happen. Hey,
it will happen this year. And it was Nas, myself, Kevin Zhang, Emma Reed, Van Dennis, Paul Lee, Ryan Matthews, Noah Brewer, Alex, AC Hampton, and all coming. I mean, Nas had the place ready to go. Everything was going. And, maybe share the story, what kind of happened leading up to it.
no worries. So yeah, well, it was supposed to be. It happened literally. Like I think the lockdown happened like a couple of days before the event, right? Then they were like, okay, this is serious. You gotta actually stay home. So I had the whole like villa with pool and like everything booked, and then we had like we planned a whole overnight pajama party for VIP mastermind. And we were going to do a 2 day event. First day, we were going to go skydiving and then go to the dinner that I already got a chef to actually cook for us. And then we were going to have a dinner, a nice dinner. And then we're going to have the mastermind and then the late night VIP mastermind. Then the next day was supposed to be day two of mastermind, brunch and pool
Pool
party, same
party,
place.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. The place still booked actually, but it's just the date. It's still not. Like I postponed it to
Uh-huh.
June, but I mean, we're still flexible to change it because of this whole thing going on. And then with the
Yeah.
skydiving, also the same thing because they were trying to charge me like 4% or something cancellation fee. Then I'm like, maybe I should just postpone this. So I just postponed it to June, and they said you can postpone it as much as like you need to. But I mean, I like to be positive and like things are looking, better, and then people are coming to conclusion that is not as, as bad that they thought it was. I know the beaches are open. Oh, actually, beaches open today at the in LA area.
Oh,
Apparently,
wow.
yeah. So
Okay.
they're trying to open up things. So it all depends on the type of person. I know a lot of people have mixed opinion about this whole thing of like some people are really like concerned and some people are not. I personally, I think you just gotta listen to your gut and like see, like what is actually like question everything. I don't say believe everything that obviously be cautious, but also question everything that around you and what's happening like a lot of things, like a lot of doctors not coming out from like, and they're doing antibody tests here, and it shows that half of LA already had it. So I'm kind of confused. Like the death rate is like extremely low now. If actually half of LA had it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of question these things yourself and figure out if it's worth actually worrying you in the long term. I don't know how I got to this conversation, but
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what kinda, put a hold on the whole event, and,
yeah,
yeah, leading up to it, I mean, the event itself was going viral. I think it was
I
something that
know.
we thought
It's
was
still
like
gonna happen. It's still gonna happen. If things go right, who knows? In 2 or 3 months or whatever, we'll still book for June. But if things actually like if it goes well, we're gonna keep it. If it doesn't, we're gonna postpone it like a couple other months. But it's gonna happen.
yeah,
I'm
that'll
not
be
giving up on.
awesome. Yeah, so for those of you, listening and still wanna, join us, I mean, that'll be happen. So when things do clear up, and I don't know if things are gonna get back to normal the way things were, but there'll be a new normal,
Of course,
and if anything, I mean, online business itself and e-com is just like even more important and kind of more valuable at this point than ever. And
absolutely,
to get a chance, I mean, the names that I just read off of the list who was going to be there, I'm showing it on the screen again. It's just like really awesome. I mean, a lot of great people that were here, and to get a chance to connect with each of us in person and dive into the latest and greatest things that are happening is just really awesome. So I'm scrolling through the screen for those that are seeing live, but I mean, everyone was just going to bring a lot of value and be able to connect. It just turned into a really awesome event. I was really looking forward to it.
absolutely.
And
I
skydiving, that was my bucket list. I was like, I need to go skydiving
know.
with Nas. So I was
I know. It's okay. It's gonna be bigger and better when it happens.
Oh, that's awesome. So, one of the things I wanted to bring up, I remember, and to give you exposure, are you still promoting the course that you had? What was that called?
Econ playbook, yeah,
The playbook? Okay, yeah,
yes, econ playbook.
let me show that up here for sure. So I'd say, definitely for those that have been, maybe you could share what goes on behind the econ playbook.
Yeah, of course. So Econ Playbook is kind of a community I created. I don't want to just call it a course because it's a community to me.
Oh,
Since
okay.
yeah, so it's just like a very involved, not only a material that you could study everything that I personally do, like in my business, but also like on our Facebook group, I pretty much update everything that I do in there weekly. So like everybody's who's in this community, they're updated and they know what's changing on Facebook. So that's something that I do. It's you can study, like it's kind of like a self study material, I guess. You can learn on your own time or whatever. You can put 1 hour, aside a day or however you want to learn. But we've been getting a lot of great results from it. Like I think the best students that I had, he just hit like half a million in sales. So I give out everything that can make you successful. It's just up to you to take the action and make it happen for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, that's
Yeah,
really awesome, and thanks for sharing. And you've been keeping it up to date as well, all that good stuff.
always. Yeah, everything that I do, actually, even before posting on YouTube or anything, I post it there, and it's way more detailed, way more into compared to anything that I post, like to public. So I
Yeah,
share everything in there, every little things, every little help that things that like the eBay trick, like people knew this from a couple months ago, or like things that I'm like I personally struggle with. Like, let's say when things changes and I find a solution for, so I share it with people, and they could, if they're they can benefit from it too.
yeah. Well, that's really good to know, and it's good to know that it's more than just a course, but a community to plug in with to
Absolutely,
stay up to date for sure. And yeah, thanks for doing that.
of
Man, I
course.
tell you, this is really awesome, and a lot of the people that were here asking questions, but I think we'll let's see. Do you feel like taking on any more questions? What do you think?
If you want, I actually have like a lot of question on my Instagram, like a
Oh yeah.
lot of them. I don't even want to scroll them, but if whatever, up to you. So Someone is asking what's the cost of the event on my thing.
Oh yeah.
There's different packages. You can just DM me. I'll tell you how much they are. If you want to come day 1, day 2, or however you want to do it, you can message me.
Awesome. Yeah,
Someone is
yeah.
asking,
Pick up a few questions that you have in your Instagram. Let's do that.
okay, who's asking who's jumped out of the plane before? A lot of people are like asking me. I know one of people's fear is like, but am I the only one? I've never jumped.
Uh,
I'm like 99% of people never jumped out of a plane. So everybody's gonna be doing tandem. Don't worry. If that's like what's holding you back from coming to the
well,
event,
how many times have you jumped now? Was it over?
like 40, I think 40 something now. I don't even
Wow.
remember anymore. Yeah, 40 something. I'm actually a noob. Like I'm not considered anything. Like if people that I like skydive, but they have like 1,000, 2,000 skydives, and I'm like the baby noob like, who's just skydiving. I feel like a lot of people like ask and about dropshipping question. They're like, "Oh, I'm just getting started. I don't know anything." I'm like, I know exactly how it feels to get started. I'm like that noob in skydiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. Someone asking. That's a good question. What product cost price range do you focus on? I kind of have the sweet spot that I pretty much all the products that I sell are around this price. I look for anything under $20 to sell, and I sell them between $30 to $50. Because after $50 or $60, people are not going to be impulse buyers anymore. They just need to they'd be like, oh, I got to think about it. So I like to find, like especially for beginners, sell products under $50, $60, and then find the products, the original cost should be under $20. And you would want to give it at least $20 profit margin.
Really good. Really
Yeah.
good. No, this is awesome stuff for sure. And I know we're coming close to the end of the hour and I want to be respectful of your time too.
Yeah.
And so I would say now, well, let's see. So what does a day in your life look like now that you're actually stuck at home but still doing things like what
You know what? Not much is different. And only thing that I don't really, really like is the gym being closed because I can't go work out. That's like the most important part of my day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, one thing that I started doing is I run with my dog. I never thought I would get into running, but I've been running for the last 2 weeks. Like I do like 3-4 miles. Like I walk, jog, whatever you want to call it. It's intense for me because I'm a gym person. I like to be at the gym. So that's
Mhm.
what I do usually early in the morning. Then I get home, I check on my ads, make sure everything is okay. Uh, During the day, I focus on my students, consultation calls. Sometimes I started doing consultation calls, so I do that. I make one day I have just for YouTube, making YouTube videos. Then at night, I talk to my supplier, making sure that everything is sent out, everything is good. I talk to my VAs at night just because they're in a different time zone. And that's all about it. But I've been just, kind of doing
Yeah.
the same thing, just not gym time anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of the response I get. Like for most people, like yeah, I've been working from home most of the time, so like not much has changed aside from not going out. And I see your dog in the background there. We could say, what's her name
Oh,
again?
that's Bella. Oh, you little doggy. What are you doing over there? Did I tell you can get on my bed? She's usually not allowed on the bed. I think she really wanted to be in the video.
Yeah.
Usually not allowed on the bed. What are you
Oh, really? Wow.
doing? So,
Yeah. Well, while I was sitting here, Bear came up too, and he was like came,
oh,
but then he
that's
walked
so cute.
away. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's
that's so
cool.
awesome.
Well, really good stuff. Well, thanks for taking the time out to be on the podcast for sure. I think this was really awesome and answering a lot of great questions that came in from the audience. So for those that checked in was really good. And I think it's awesome because you guys get a chance to catch this live and then the podcast will be, produced a little bit later, which is great. So yeah, I'd say again, be sure to check out Naz. I mean, on YouTube for sure. She's definitely, putting a lot of great value on her YouTube videos. And then, her course and community that she just described. She's the real deal. So I would say definitely plug in with Naz. She's one to definitely get connected with for sure. So as we bring this to a wrap, I want to give you a chance to leave some closing remarks with the audience. So I'll let you take it away.
Thanks. Thank you guys again for listening and staying here and watching and supporting me. I know last time that we had a podcast, I had a lot of people reaching out from listening to our podcast and getting inspired and starting. So hopefully this also does the same thing. Maybe this time reaching bigger audience, inspiring them to get into, do what you want to do, and like not necessarily online business, but whatever that your heart desires that you would want to get started, like you would want to, like there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing what you want to do. And I think you should go after what you want to do. I know it's a lot of fear and like you have a lot of fear of failing and all that. We all have that. No matter what you are in your life, we all have that. You got to kind of figure out why do you have that fear and just go after what you want,
Very well said. Well, thank you, Naz. Yeah, we'll be in touch soon.
Awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
So I'm stopping the podcast recording, but we're still running live. And like we said, this is behind the scenes, so you still get to see what's capturing here. But as we end the podcast, the recordings stopped from Zoom, and with a lot of the featured guests, what it goes through editing and things like that. People are saying, awesome. Ed said awesome. Nas and BMAC. Yeah, thanks for the shout outs for sure. Yeah, I'd say, another thing, be sure to share this with others. And when the podcast comes out, be sure to listen and share that with others. That'd be really good. But yeah, I think this brings it to the wrap. But behind the scenes, you could see here, I'll bring the Instagram going, but we got the thing going. Yeah, you can see my lunch. I didn't even eat my lunch yet. I got my lunch now. Right now, our time, I think, is like, well, it's approaching 2 p.m. our time right now. So it's
it is. That's true.
Okay.
Mine is
12. But really awesome stuff. Well, thank you, Naz. And we'll stop the live stream here. So I'm gonna cut Instagram right now. So we'll say bye to Instagram.
Bye, Instagram.
Somebody on Instagram just said, "Is she fasting? Why?
How does she know? How does he know?
How do you know?
Oh, Ramadan. No, I don't fast like that, but I fast, just I don't eat for like 16 hours.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Say bye to Instagram.
Bye, Instagram. Are we doing this again?
That's gone. And then we'll say bye to YouTube, Facebook, all you guys. So we'll see you later, guys.
Bye, everybody.